So do you happen to be confused about where you're at in life? Whether you've been diagnosed with c-ptsd or not, you may just be curious about how to improve your life. So I found myself drawn to religious and deeply mystical works in my life. I had questions that were not answered through the mainstream, through the channels of education, church, and social groups. So I went off the beaten path. I'm going to paraphrase some of the work by the original Gurdjieff and Ouspensky work. They're kind of off-putting to most people, challenging and twisted reads. I'm Mark Roach, here to offer a different perspective in what you can get out of your life. Once upon a time, in a gathering brimming with fresh faces, a curious soul posed an intriguing question. From what does the way start? This individual, unfamiliar with Gurdjieff, his profound teachings on the four paths, spoke of the way in a mystical, almost spiritual sense. The crux of misunderstanding the concept of the way, Gurdjieff began, lies in the common belief that it commences on the same plane as ordinary life. This is a misconception. The way actually begins on a much loftier plane. People often understand its complexity. Allow me to elucidate. Gurdjieff explained that human existence is governed by the law of accident and two types of influences, both equally capricious. The first type stems from life itself. Race, nationality, environment, family, education, societal norms, and so forth. The second type originates beyond our mundane existence, esoteric influences crafted by conscious beings for specific purposes. These are often encapsulated in religious doctrines, philosophical teachings, and artistic expressions. These higher influences are released into the world to mingle with those of the first kind. However, they lose their conscious origin as they become entangled in life's chaotic whirlpool, acting mechanically and unpredictably. Understanding these influences is crucial for embarking on the way. One must learn to distinguish between them. Some individuals receive more of these higher influences, others remain untouched, a matter of fate. In normal circumstances, life presents equal challenges to all. The difficulty lies in discerning between these influences. If one falls to separate them upon reception, they act uniformly and yield identical results. However, if one begins to discriminate and set aside those not spawned by life itself, this task becomes progressively easier. Eventually, these higher influences coalesce, and within an individual, forming a magnetic center that attracts similar influences and grows stronger. As this magnetic center develops, it begins to steer one's orientation towards seeking the way. This quest may span several years and might lead nowhere. It depends on various factors like circumstances and inner tendencies. Should this magnetic center function correctly, and if one genuinely seeks or even intuitively feels the right path, they may encounter someone who knows the way, someone connected to a center beyond the law of accident. Here lies myriad possibilities, but for now, let's imagine meeting such a guide willing to assist. The guide's influences bypass chance entirely and is both direct and conscious, a stark contrast to earlier influences that succumb to life's randomness. The moment one meets a true guide marks the first threshold or step on the journey. From here begins a stairway bridging life and the way. Only through ascending this stairway with guidance can one truly embark on the way, which lies at an elevation far above ordinary life. This unfolds the tale of seeking enlightenment, a journey not for the faint-hearted, but for those daring enough to rise above life's tumultuous tides toward a realm where destiny is no longer left to chance, but consciously crafted by one's own hand. This work of Ouspensky and Gurdjieff was instrumental to me in developing rekindling much of my faith and my beliefs and restored confidence in my fellow man. It helped me appreciate the twist that was handed me by my childhood trauma and the interesting life that followed. I'm Mark Roach. All the best.